Nearly 15 million people have logged on and experienced the world of Warcraft. Quite commonly overlooked is the rich and illustrious lore and history behind Azeroth. Join us as we venture beyond the pixels, code, and players. Welcome to the story of Warcraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to But Wait, There's Lore right here on youtube.com/The Smoking Gamer. I am Pride, joined today by Howitzer, Necroxus, and our first returning host from seasons past, Snapple Monkey, which isn't that big of a deal, really, when you think about it, because Snapple's like always around and he still helps out with the show and stuff like that. We're supposed to have someone else today. Unfortunately, that person had some things come up and couldn't make it, so Snapple was kind enough to jump on in here and take over.
Yes.
Indeed.
While my
his webcam is on, it's just frozen. We don't know what's going on with that. His webcam has been acting up all morning, or all afternoon rather. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if we can't get that fixed at some point throughout the show. If we don't, oh well, it's fine. We all know what Snapple looks like. He was on Tactical Failures, right?
Don't remind me.
But that comes up to our reminder. We are getting ever closer to the 100th episode of But Wait, There's Lore. And we're going to be, over the next couple of weeks, up until that point, we're going to be having some familiar voices and faces coming back to the show. I believe we have someone from every single season. So we've got Snapple from Season 2. I've got one of the two guys from Season 1 that's not Snapple coming in hopefully soon. We're trying to work that out. It is a little bit of scheduling conflicts and stuff like that, but we're trying to work it out to see if we can get him onto the show. And of course, we've got some familiar faces from after Seasons 1 and 2 when we went over to Nordic Radio and all that good stuff. So hopefully, we'll be able to get all that worked out. That's going to be a lot of fun. You got something special planned for the 100th episode, for sure. So stay in tune for that. I believe if we stay on pace and don't miss any episodes, it'll be on August the 9th. Will be the 100th episode of But Wait, There's Lore. That's 200 hours of WoW lore discussion, guys. That's a lot. It's a lot of time talking about WoW lore, man. We've got a fantastic top 10 coming up for you today. It's going to be interesting for sure. And we've got a hell of a lot of content today. This is probably the most content-filled show we've had since we started the season. We've got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about today. I want to go ahead and mention that Dunn and Jan are not here. That puts us in a really awkward situation because Dunn usually handles IRC questions and Jan usually handles YouTube questions. So today, Howitzer is going to be running the IRC questions. So send your IRC questions to Howitzer. If any point during the show we say something and you're like, I want to know more about that, or you want a clarification perhaps, send old Howitzer there a private message. He'll get that into the questions. And of course, you can always throw in your questions into the YouTube comments, and they should make their way up the ladder there to me. Tyranor is going to be looking at the YouTube comments and picking out all the questions that come up and all that good stuff. So, and of course, if you really want to get into it, you can always send us an email to lore@omfg.fm, and we'll get your questions that way as well. That's for the archive listeners too. If you're listening to the archive and you're like, man, I wish I could listen live so I could ask them about this. Well, you don't have to listen live to ask us about it. You can just send us an email to lore@omfg.fm. Now then, we've got a lot of meat in this show today, so we need to jump right on to it. I think we're going to be talking about, let me check my itinerary here. Looks like we're talking about the Vol'jin novel. We can now talk about that. That is released, right? We can talk about that now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes?
Mhm.
Okay. Necroxus, man, you've read it. Dun's not here to walk us through story time with Dun, so Necro's going to have to take that initiative. Tell us about Vol'jin, man. I know that you were a little disappointed with it, but before I get in too much into that, and I don't want this to necessarily be a review, but just kind of tell us what happened in Vol'jin. Tell us a little bit about what's going on with Vol'jin, Shadows of the Horde.
Okay, so the entire book takes place between 5.1 and 5.2 for people who are playing the game. The story goes back and forth between Vol'jin after he was almost killed in the scenario Dagger in the Dark, as well as Chen and what he's doing, and interspersed in between there, the Shadowpan are doing things, and the Zandalari are also causing problems. So basically, Chen finds Vol'jin's body. It had floated down the river from where that cave was to Banan Village, which if you have played the game, you know where that is. It's the village right outside of that cave. He takes it to the Shadowpan Monastery to heal. There's some Pandaren Zen, like mental jujitsu goes on between Chen and Terranzu, and they're asking each other questions. Terranzu's like, I have a parable to tell you. Like, what's more important for the balance of a ship? Is it the water that the ship is on, or is it the anchor that holds the ship down? And the ultimate point is it's explaining the different philosophies that the Pandaren have. One is the more calm one, which is the Tushui. The other one is the Huojin, however you pronounce that. I will never get that right. Basically, the first one is what the Alliance Pandaren have joined the Alliance for. The other one is why the Horde Pandaren joined the Horde. Basically, this whole point is Terranzu goes, well, now you've brought a Horde person into the monastery, so you cannot bring any more people, because you also brought a human about a month ago. So Terranzu, his entire thing, this whole book is balance, 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 balance. Balance is so great. And because he wants the Shadowpan to learn from Vol'jin and this human, he also wants them to learn from the Shadowpan, so he makes them take care of one another while they're in the Shadowpan Monastery. The human character's name is Tyrathan. He is basically like a hunter, like he's a really skilled hunter. He's not physically strong, they make a point to say that. So as they're healing, him and Vol'jin initially are butting heads, obviously, because one's Horde and one's the Alliance. But things start happening to where they have to work together to defend the monastery as well as Pandaria from the Zandalari. And if you played 5.2, you know that the Zandalari, or if you played the original Mists of Pandaria, the Zandalari have joined with the Mogu. They resurrected Leisha and the Thunder King. That has already taken place by the time the book comes out. The next Zandalari's plan is to go resurrect all of Leisha's warlords so that they can begin the invasion that we basically stop in 5.2. So, as all of these things are happening, Vol'jin is getting vision after vision after vision from all of the Loa. The biggest one is Bwansambi, who, if you play the retaking of the Echo Isles, is basically like the Darkspear Loa of the dead. And he's talking to Vol'jin like all the time in the spirit world with Senjin, who's his Vol'jin's father is also there. And one of the main problems that the book keeps bringing up is Vol'jin's not healing right. Like, he got seriously injured, and he's not healing the way a troll should. And Vol'jin doesn't know why. Bwansambi, he's like kind of acting like he does, but he's being like a Loa. He's being tricky. He's not telling him what his thing is. He's just giving him like directions of this is what a troll should be. And that's conflicting with what Terranzu and the Shadowpan are telling Vol'jin he should do. So Vol'jin eventually receives a vision of the Zandalari attacking Pandaria. At first he thinks he's seeing a vision of like the far past, but eventually he realizes that they're attacking. So they're attacking actually, I forget the name of the town, I think it's like Zuchin Village. It's in Kunlai Summit. It's the very most northern one. It's also, you quest there when they resurrect the Thunder King. So, all of Vol'jin, Tyrathan, a bunch of Shadowpan, Chen Stormstout's also just chilling, hanging around. They all go and defend. That's the first major battle of the book. Basically, all that happens is the Zandalari begin to realize there are trolls and humans fighting along the Pandaren, and they don't know why. And there is a woman leading the Zandalari. Her name is Kalak. I believe that's how you're supposed to pronounce it. She's a female Zandalari. I think she's a mage. They never really explain it. She's kind of a shadow hunter herself, but she uses like fire magic. But they never say what her like class is or whatever. And she seems to have like she kind of has like this crush on Vol'jin. So once she finds out that he is with the Shadowpan, she tries to eventually convince him to join with the Zandalari, which that happens a little bit later on. I should also note, while this all is happening, Chen is having... There is the romance in the book, because there's always a romance in the books, one of them. The romance is between Chen and Yalia, Sage Whisper. If you quested or you play the game, you know Yalia is a Shadowpan. She's basically a priestess. So that's their romance that's happening throughout the book, and it's actually one of the better romances in the WoW lore, in my opinion. So all of this is happening. Eventually, the Shadowpan and Taranzu understand the complete plan that the Zandalari are going after the Warlords for. So they send a small strike team consisting of all the major characters, except for Taranzu himself, into the Vale of the Eternal Blossoms to stop the Shadowpan, or to stop the Zandalari from resurrecting them. Of course, they get caught because the book needs to be a little bit longer. They get caught, and they're taken to Kalak and the Zandalari. And this is where she basically is like, join me, because... And this is where her convoluted plan is explained. She basically wants to have Vol'jin and the Darkspears join the Zandalari. And she wants them to do that because the Mogu don't respect the Zandalari, and the Zandalari don't respect the Mogu. They basically hate one another, but they're allies. And so she thinks if a person that the trolls fear, who is Vol'jin, joins their side, the Mogu will respect them more, and they will be a better cohesive unit. That's her convoluted plan that unfolds throughout the book. So eventually, after they get captured, they're taken to the Isle of Thunder, to where all of this like whining and dining happens between Kalak and the Mogu. Eventually, Vol'jin and all of his friends escape, of course, because the game is in 5.3 and we know everybody survives. They all escape, and then there is one final battle where the Zandalari then attacks the Shadowpan Monastery because Kalak is pissed off that Vol'jin turned down her offer, and she wants to go kill everybody. Long story short, they win. A lot of the Shadowpan die, but all of the main characters survive. Kalak is killed by Vol'jin. That's basically all of the significant things that happen in the story. There's also a really cool scene where Vol'jin fights a Mogu, and he really, really struggles to kill just one. And then a little bit later on, Taranzu fights like one of the Mogu warlords, and just punches him right in the chest and just kills him immediately. As somebody who likes Taranzu, I thought that was awesome. So basically, as this is happening, Vol'jin's still talking with the Loa, and he eventually discovers that he's not healing because Bwansambi took away his ability to heal, and the reason is Vol'jin felt like a troll wouldn't have fallen for Garrosh's assassination attempt, and since he did, he doesn't consider himself a real troll. So the Loas were like, alright, well then you're not a real troll, we'll take away your healing. And eventually, Vol'jin learns his lesson because that's the point of the book. He realizes he is a real troll, and he even has this moment where he's talking about the Zandalari aren't real trolls. Yeah, pretty much. He's like, the Zandalari aren't even real trolls. The Horde and even this human are more troll than they are. And so he gets his healing back, and then all is right with the world. And then the story ends with Taranzu basically saying, there are important reasons to protect Pandaria, but you must also protect your family. And Vol'jin's basically like the stereotypical, the Horde is my family, and I need to go protect them. And then that's how the book ends. And all of this happens in the span of about 2 months in between 5.1 and 5.2. So that's about it. Nothing really significant happens, except Chen is now dating Yalia, Sage Whisper. That's about it. So that's the book. Yay.
Wow. Yeah, so I remember, and like I said, I don't want to get too reviewy here, but because you actually have a review on your YouTube channel, plug that real quick so they can go take a look at that if they want.
Yeah, my YouTube channel is www.youtube.com/Necroxis, just like it's spelled here, Necroxis, with the letter Z at the end of it, Necroxis Z. And I have a full review. I cover the entire book.
Be right there, wouldn't it? Or right here?
Or right, I don't know where
somewhere,
I'm at, so yes.
Somewhere down this way.
Just click my face.
Yeah.
And that will work. And I actually cover the entire thing on my channel, but that's basically the gist of it.
Yeah, it's also in the description of the video, according to the producer Riors there. He's like, it's just in the description. Why you gotta point all the fingers? It's in the description. Anyways. Right here. That's where I heard it, right here. Yeah, so check that out, but without getting too reviewy and whatnot, you mentioned that it was kind of disappointing because of the fact that it takes place after, like, we're in game ahead of where the events in the book are happening. So
yeah, it feels like all of the important battles, like all of the tension is sapped because you know everybody survives. Because you see Chen, you see Yalia, you see Terranzu and Vol'jin all after this in the game. So
right.
Felt like the battles didn't really matter to me.
Alright, so check the book out if you want to. You may want to listen to Necroxis' review first, though. I'm not going to get too far into that, though. I like my relationship with Blizzard. In the meantime, we do have a, I don't know. Okay, based on what he said, because we need to draw out some time here. Based on what he said, let's get some other opinions. Snapple, Howitzer, what are you guys thinking about this book?
I have not read a single word from that book whatsoever. Like you know, I do not subscribe to current WoW, and therefore have a giant lack of interest in current events. Basically.
But do you have any thoughts on the book, like, at all? Like,
it's you know, it's Blizzard. It's just Blizzard storytelling. It's what it always is. Happy endings and people discovering more about themselves. It's just basically what it is. And it's nice. It's nice. I like Blizzard story because it sticks with the classics. It has its Mary Sues, and I enjoy that. I find it enjoyable, basically.
Right.
But that's about it.
For this story, basically, I feel like this is like a Vol'jin is a minor character, let's make him a major character kind of thing, where it's like not a lot of Horde people, not a lot of Alliance people really know Vol'jin, and this is the guy. Like, here he is. The story itself...
This is the guy that's going to be your next war chief.
Basically, as much as that upsets me, I mean, the whole thing in this one is, like, learning who he is, leading the people, like, learning to love the Alliance. So where I feel like he's going to become war chief, he's going to be just like Thrall and kind of be more lenient towards humans in the Alliance, going back to how it was, which is upsetting. I mean, I don't really want him to be war chief, but as for the story itself, the book, based off of Necro's thing, I mean, I could have guessed the story as soon as I read that first page preview. I mean, nothing, it sounds like, happened in that book that really is taking us back. It just sounds like, yeah, he met the Alliance guy. They're not friends. Now they're friends, and now they're going to help. And we already know, I mean, that's the middle part that you could have guessed. And then it seems like the big events are things that we knew just by playing 5.1 and 5.2. So, I mean, I guess there's just not much in the book other than character development that you really need.
Can I just say, based on what Price said a little bit earlier about Blizzard, his reputation with Blizzard, the book isn't bad. The book's not bad. Like, mechanically, the book is fine. The author's fine. It's written just totally fine. It's just the lore itself is just irrelevant. Nothing significant happens that ripples through the rest of the story. And I know some people are like, well, some people are like, well, I like that, and nothing significant happens in the book. But I think there's a sweet spot between that and like Storm Rage, where there's this whole invasion of Azeroth that happens in the book that's never addressed in the game. And so the book itself isn't bad. It's just it's average, and the lore doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's great for like a casual read if you want to know a little bit more about Vol'jin, but in the end of the day, you're not going to get. It's not a mind-blowing, spectacular piece of new information.
Nope.
Which leads me, Howitzer, did you want to wrap up real quick?
I was just going to say, I was telling Necro about this earlier, before this book came out, saying I like the fact that they're going behind the scenes for what's happening in the game. I think that's a great idea. I just wish they would have done it with someone that we don't actually see in the game. And I'm thinking, like, just go to a different leader, go to, like, maybe an alliance side, because you don't get a lot of them in the game, and get their take on what's happening, get their behind the scenes, to give us a little bit more of something that we don't already see for ourselves in the game.
Right. So here's my question, just to kind of, because we got about 3 minutes before we need to head on out, but this whole take on the book came out after 5.2, and the book takes place in between 5.1 and 5.2. Is this good or bad? Would you rather it take place like in the now rather than in the past? We have books that happen in the past, but they usually reveal a lot of new information. They really expand on what's happening. This one, it just kind of seems it's a retelling and a lot of character development. Basically, is how it's said. It's saying, we want you to know who your next war chief is, and that's not a confirmation that Vol'jin is the next war chief. That's just me saying.
Think that.
Hey, yeah. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Like, should they? Do you like this idea? Is it not a good idea? Should they bring it more forward? If they're going to do something like this, it's very recent. Should they, try and tie something else into it? Like, what do you think?
Me?
Yeah.
I think that they can do it. They can do stuff in the past. They just need to reveal stuff, like you mentioned. I make this comparison in my video. Compare this to Tides of War, where in Tides of War, we know Theramore is getting destroyed before the book comes out, and in the game the scenario happens, and we don't know a lot about the story through just the game, but the book explains all of it 100%. I think that's a good way that they did it compared to this book. Like, they had something happen in the game, then they expand on that in the book. But in this one, they expand on stuff that just doesn't happen in the game because it's not important.
Right.
I think they can still do it in the past. They just need to do it better. Like, they've done it before well, but this time... I felt like this one had a very heavy-handed Blizzard feel compared to the other ones. Like, this, you have to know all of these things.
Right. Well, here's my thing. Because Michael Stackpool, the author of Vol'jin Shadows of the Horde, this is his first Blizzard, or his first WoW book, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think it may have been a little bit because he's new to it, and so he kind of followed the directive of Blizzard a little bit more closely? I mean, all the authors, of course, follow the points of Blizzard, the way that they say this is kind of the storyline that we want to follow. Now, creatively tell us a story, right? Do you think that he kind of had a little bit of reservations to that because he was new to the series and new to all that stuff, and maybe that's why we didn't get anything massively new and huge like Knack or Golden, who are veterans of the Warcraft universe, and they have they have perhaps a feeling of more creative freedom to say and do things, and know that Blizzard will respect that and take it to the next level and take it along for the ride, if you will.
Yes, exactly. If compared to Golden in the Shattering, I remember I heard an interview where she was like, I just made Anduin a thing when Blizzard didn't want him to be a thing, and I made his whole character. For this, I felt like it's even in the preface of the book, it says and thanks to Blizzard for helping me along the way in the universe, or something like that. So it's very obvious he doesn't know the lore, which isn't a fault to him. That's why it does feel more like Blizzard structured almost, I'd say 90% of the book probably was already the points were made for him. Right. And then just put the fancy stuff in there, the fancy writing.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, that makes sense. All right, well, we got to go to break. Before we do, though, we have a series premiere here on Bewait This Lore. This is, I guess it's not really a premiere because it's been around for a while, but we kind of freshened it up a little bit, gave it a new look and feel. Tyranor presents Lore Facts with Janelle. Rioris, look us up, man. Let them see it. Oh, wait, hold on. I believe there was something before that, though, right, Rioris? Talk to me in my ear, buddy. Right here. There's some sort of audio bit or something that we need to play? Yeah? Okay. Right here? Yeah. Let's do it. Do it up.
As you can see, your people are now mine. I will now turn this city household by household. until the flame of life has been snuffed out forever.
According to a quest in Mount Hyjal, the Scourge's mortal followers, the Cult of the Damned, have spies within the Twilight's Hammer. This plot thread has not yet been expanded upon. The Scourge are the only ones capable of working with Saronite, the blood of the old god Yogg-Saron, since his maddening powers have no effect on people who have no minds. After the defection of the Death Knights of Akaras, new Scourge necropoli are also made of this metal, making them nigh indestructible. After the Scourge destroyed the Nerubian society, they came across ancient Tol'vir, which the Nerubians had enslaved. These became the Obsidian Destroyers from Warcraft 3. A similar construct was created by the Kiraji, although with no apparent basis on Tol'vir themselves. The Scourge started experiments in vanilla to create their own dragonflight by taking black dragon eggs from the burning steppes, infusing them with plague, and growing them. Personally, I'm not sure how something that is dead can continue growing. According to Ask CDev, both Ner'zhul and Arthas were holding back from unleashing their full forces during their respective reigns as the Lich King. We are welcome to speculate on the reasons. Ner'zhul's initial power base after arriving in Northrend were the human colonies on the southern coast of the continent. They were the first ones to be enslaved by the Lich King before the Nerubians after the Spider War.
Hello and welcome to the Oddscast.
Some people think that the art needs a little bit of polish, but you know what? Mechanics totally make
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Total Biscuit. Welcome to Content Match.
Hey, how's it going? You ready?
This is ATS Gear back to some more StarCraft 2 or Heart of the Swarm.
You're watching Day 9 TV, where you learn to be a better gamer.
Alright everybody, welcome back. Sit for my guys, be prepared for the end.
Everybody, Markiplier here. We just hit 300,000. I'm not so rough.
Hello there everybody, welcome to another sensational day.
Want to stay up to date with all the latest happenings around the Smoking Gamer and its crew? Well, be sure to follow us on our various social media platforms, including Facebook at facebook.com/TSGamer, twitter.com/Pride1G, or simply @Pride1G. You can also check us out on Anook at anook.com/page/TSGamer. And of course, you can always come and join the fun over at www.knightsoflore.com. Thanks for listening to But Wait, There's Lore. Show your support in the real world by picking up one of our brand new Season 6 But Wait, There's Lore series t-shirts, only at printonblack.co.uk. Order before July 31st for a chance to win this exclusive TSG Jade logo shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Wait There's Lore here on youtube.com/The Smoking Gamer. I'm Pride, joined by Necroxus Howitzer, and from Season 2, Snapple Monkey. And we've still got a lot to talk about today. Haven't even gotten to the top 10 list. We're third of the way or fourth of the way through with the show, but right now we got to talk a little bit about theorizing Wrathion. We've got the Wrathion theory thing, crafting going on between Necroxus and Howitzer. And of course, myself and Snapple will, well, I don't know about Snapple since he doesn't play WoW anymore, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Your face, Snapple, my god. Anyways, yeah, so, Howitzer, Necroxus, what's up with Wrathion? What's your theory?
I just talk for a lot, so how you can do it.
Yeah, okay, you can be on the sideline for this one.
No, you go ahead.
Basically, I mean, how this started off was, I think we formalized this in 5.2 during the Throne of Thunder patch. That is when this actually came up. Which was just one day me and Necro were just going back and forth on Skype chat, trying to decide, like, what Wrathion's true motives are. Like, I think we were just questioning, like, what is he doing with all of these items that you're giving him? Sure, for a lot of it, he's giving you, like, legendaries and these epic oranges, but it's definitely, like, you're giving a lot more stuff than you're receiving from him. And so we're just kind of wondering, like, what is he doing with all this power? And we decided that, I mean, we kind of put together clues in 5.1. No, even before 5.1, he shows you that he knows the Burning Legion is going to come. And then as of 5.1 and on, he's collecting all these Titan artifacts, and he's basically fanboying Titans just the entire time. And so we're thinking, okay, we know that in the future the expansion has to go one way. We know that the Legion's going to come. How they get here, we still don't know. I mean, it shows them raining down, but I think there's going to be some other easier way for them to get here. And we are hoping to go to, like, Argus and all this stuff. So basically we thought he is so in love with the Titans, he wants the Titans to come here because he thinks that's the best thing for Azeroth right now, was if the Titans will come back and help us. And so we're thinking, okay, what he wants us to do is that he's going to allow the Legion to come here. He's going to use all these powers to almost summon the Legion, get some old gods back up, because he's all for helping you, like, get this old god kind of stuff. He's like, oh yeah, that's fine. This is fine. So basically we're thinking he's going to just wave a giant red flag, have the Burning Legion come, have the old gods, and then what would be better for the Titans to come back other than having two of their greatest enemies, the Fallen Titans army and the Old Gods, in one location being active. I mean, you know the Titans would instantly just jump on that right away, come to Azeroth, which is exactly what Wrathion wants. That's his whole goal right now, is to be like, get the Titans, know what they're about, have them here so he can talk to them. And that's what we were saying, that he still wants the best for Azeroth. But overall, he's going to do it by almost destroying Azeroth and saying, you guys got to come back, Titans, because we're about to be destroyed. And in a nutshell, that's what we believe is going to happen. So go ahead and try and poke holes in it, or whatever you want.
Here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you answered the theory, but clarify the why for me. Why does Wrathion want to do this exactly? Just to be able to talk to the Titans?
Well, you notice if you do the quest for the Legendary, Necro, I think you're fully caught up on the Legendary quests, aren't you? Almost?
Yes.
I mean, how much Titan love does he show just in his dialogue and what you have to do for the quests?
A lot. Like, even towards the end, he's like kind of throwing a tantrum as the quest is going along, and he's like, this Titan power should be mine. The Titans are mine by birthright. So, adding on to the theory, I've been doing the 5.3 legendary part, which I just got to, and he even tells Yu'lon, the Green Serpent, he's like, yo, I know for a fact that the Burning Legion's coming back. So you need to give me some of your power so we can survive. And he's just been like siphoning power from all of these super powerful beings as he's been going along, and then take that with him saying, the Titans their power should be mine by birthright, and the Titans, they had glorious creational magic and all of this other stuff. He has a super big hard-on for the Titans. Like, obnoxiously long.
Well, I think it's more of a thing that he feels like he's not a part of anything anymore, so he wants to, like, create something. And because of that, he's seeking the power of the Titans, because like you said, power of creation and all that. Because I feel he kind of got cheated out of his destiny, because he's not quite a Black Dragonflight dude, and it's not really quite anything else. So he's kind of like in the middle point, and he's trying to find a place for himself, or create a place for himself. And he's not necessarily doing it because he's evil or he wants to take over. He just wants to like make something like epic.
Well, he probably wants to make his Black Dragonflight, since he's the only one. Unless he's,
I don't know. He has shown some content towards the Black Dragonflight. I think he just wants to like,
well, the corrupted ones,
create a place in his on Azeroth for himself, or just create a place for himself.
Like I said, I mean, you said that he wants the power of the Titans, and for that to really happen, since he's been siphoning, I mean, he would have to have those Titans come back to Azeroth. Right. He'd have to have them there.
Like, so, he even eats Lei Shan's heart at the end of the 5.2 storyline. You get it for him, and he's like, there's Titan magic in this, and he eats the heart, and he like sees this like this vision as he's trying. He's saying things like he's like possessed by some power or something, and he's saying all these things like, oh, the final Titan has fallen, we must rebuild it. And then he like wakes up and he's like, I don't know what just happened. But it was just after he ate Lei Shan's heart and got all of those powers that Lei Shan acquired from Wrathion. So he's for being like 2 years old, that bitch is powerful.
Mm-hmm. And so I mean, go ahead, Fred.
Well, I mean, my biggest thing is, I get that, but I don't know. I'm confusing myself here in my own mind. I get that he wants to meet the Titans. I guess I can kind of see why. But what is he planning on doing with this power? Is he trying to gain this power so that he can defeat the Burning Legion and the Old Gods? But in order to get that power, he has to bring the Legion and the Old Gods to bring the Titans to get the Titanic power to then defeat what he himself is planning on bringing into the world. You see what I'm getting at here? Like, it's either really, really brilliant or really, really stupid. You know what I mean? Like, one way or the other.
Yeah.
I would say it's ignorant.
I would definitely say it's ignorant. I definitely think it's ignorant, definitely on his part. I mean, I think the siphoning, I mean, if I were to guess, right now he's siphoning the power just so he might be strong enough to take on a Titan when they get here. I mean, if he has all these magical things, like, as a part of him, he might just be waiting for the Titans to get here, and he can at least survive if he wants to be friends with them or even wants to take one down. He might have enough power by that point to do it. That's just one thing. But I would say definitely I don't think he's in it to destroy the Old Gods and the Burning Legion. I would say that's not really his deal. I think he's saying that to us now because, I mean, he can't really say, I want to bring them here so the Titans come back. We would never go along with that as, like, people, as wanting... We definitely don't want the Legion here. So if he's saying, I need all this power so I can defeat the Burning Legion, I'm definitely doubting that that's actually what he wants his power for right now.
I think it's... well, I haven't played the games as much. I only played, like, the starter thing of Pandaria, but still, I think it's more of he wants to be seen as on equal footing with the Titans instead of like a pet, because that's what the dragons basically was for the Titans, with guard dogs. So I think he wants their attention and wants to show them that he's on equal footing and that he can. He wants to just prove himself worthy of the Titans, I guess.
Yeah, definitely what he intends to do is probably the least known part that you can't really, even at this point, you could guess, but I don't think you'd have any backing as to what he actually will do when they're here.
Right, and playing devil's advocate for a second, and to kind of address Pride's point, whenever I tell someone this, their biggest question is, well, why is he helping gear up the player, and why is he trying to stop the war between the Alliance and the Horde? And I think he even almost flat out says this. He says, I need them to stop, because if they're divided, once they do come, the Legion, we're just going to lose immediately. So I think his plan is, let's have the Mortals be able to hold their own long enough before the Titans realize we need to get there, because shit's going down. That's what I think, because he pretty much says this. He doesn't say it in those words, but that's his implication when he gives you these powers.
Yeah, obviously the Titans, obviously at this point, we're pretty sure they just can't, snap their fingers and teleport to whatever world they've created. It obviously is a process, or else they would always come back every time an old god. One of them would just be like, "Oh, I'm here. Let's take care of it." So, yeah, I could see that. Also, if they get there and like everything's already dead, they might just be like, "Oh well, blow up the world."
Yeah, all their creations are just gone, so what's the point?
Yeah, they're already dead, so, I mean, what's the point of saving anything?
Mm.
But overall, I would say he is going to kind of screw us over in the long run with everything he's doing. I definitely don't trust him at this point.
Nope.
I trust him to chew off more than he can swallow. Basically.
I think he ultimately has Azeroth's best interest in mind, but the way he does it isn't necessarily in our best interest.
Well,
as like the mortals on the planet.
He's inexperienced and he's new and he's kind of power hungry. Not in the sense that
he's like floating on that edge of like morality, and that's what I think Deathwing would have been like this if he didn't just go fucking bonkers because of the old gods.
Yeah. Oh well. Give some sweet loot though.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know. My biggest thing is the only other point I can really bring up about this whole theory and whatnot is we don't want the Titans here because number one, they don't like us, despite what people out there think. Titans aren't here to protect us. You know what I mean?
We're victims of the curse of flesh.
Exactly. Outside of that, the other thing is I'm kind of convinced that the Titans are involved in something else right now entirely.
Yeah.
Because they know what's happening on Azeroth, and they haven't done anything yet. So why would they do? They didn't show up the first time the Burning Legion was here. They didn't show up, the second time the Burning Legion was here. Why would they show up the third time? You know what I mean? Like.
I think it's because their fail-safes succeeded. Like, they stopped them for the time. Like, the dragons helped during the War of the Ancients. Granted, one of them went crazy and, like, killed almost another's flight. But I think, for the most part, their things they've kept in place to stop this have been working. In addition to us, as the mortals, like, killing people who are trying to communicate with them, tell them things are wrong.
I don't know.
He's overestimating the amounts of fucks they give about Azeroth.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I think so.
That's my thing. Like I think that the Titans have abandoned Azeroth, and the only thing that's going to make them come back is if something major happens in the sense that we like create something or discover something that strictly deals with them and their immediate, lives. If we discover
like a phone line to the Titans directly or something like that.
No, because we've already found one of those. Several of them.
No, that was an answering machine. That wasn't a direct phone line. Like if we would have direct access to like any type of Titan magic or Titan technology, that would for them be a major issue because we shouldn't be in control of that kind of stuff.
Perhaps, but I mean, we've met Algalon, who's a relay system, more or less, to the Titans, and a couple other Watchers and whatnot, who can communicate with the Titans. That's what I'm saying. By the Titans know what's going on Azeroth. They've always known what's going on Azeroth.
But we kick his ass so that he doesn't tell them that shit's going bad. Like we fight Algalon so that he doesn't send the code saying things are going wrong.
Yeah,
because he sends the one that's like, okay, everything's good.
Yeah,
the one that's
but there are other Watchers, I'm sure.
Emergency.
Yeah, but they don't know because they're in a room. I mean, he doesn't really know until later that he's like, wait, this is bad.
Well, I mean, the point is that if we had to get a message to the Titans, we could. We could. It may not be the message we want to send the Titans, but we could get them. We could get a message sent to the Titans, one way or another. But
yeah, the message the message isn't the issue. It's the contents. It's
right.
It's enough to get their attention.
Right.
Well, I would say that with the Burning Legion and I mean, we've never seen, if the Burning Legion, I mean, when you show that it's coming literally from everywhere, it's not just one point of a portal or even anything like that. They are literally, if this is as bad as they're making it seem, they are going to be everywhere. It's going to be chaotic. We're going to be on like last heels. And then when you add the old gods probably coming up, which they're also kind of, maybe the old god comes in and they're both there, that's way worse than anything we've ever had before on Azeroth. Like almost tenfold when old gods. I mean, old gods has never really been a thing that has like thrown us all the way back.
Yeah, they're still imprisoned.
They're still in prison. So if they were let loose somehow, or if even one of them got out, I feel like that would be a way bigger issue than the Legion coming as ever before or anything like that. Because I think they care about the old gods way more than they care about the Legion.
Well, I'm going to make one more point about the legendary quest that I forgot to make. After he eats Lei Shen's heart, while he's in this trance, he says, you know, the Titans have seen all of these amazing worlds. And I think this ties into what Pride was saying about why do they care so much about Azeroth. Wrathion directly says, there's all of these awesome worlds, but there's this one world which is so perfect and special to them. And it's like very strongly implied he's talking about Azeroth, obviously. So for some reason, from getting this titanic power, he thinks that there's some reason why Azeroth is so special to the Titans, but they don't say anything else after that.
It might be because we've defended so much.
I mean, so I don't know if it's because they don't care about Azeroth or if they care a lot about Azeroth.
They might care in the sense that, well, they might care in the sense that the Legion comes and they tell you we've destroyed so many worlds, it's ridiculous. Azeroth still stands. So if the Titans are looking at all the worlds they've created and they see one that survived attack after attack and even has old gods infesting it and they're still alive and they're still like living, then that might be seen as their most successful planet that they've ever created.
Yeah,
so that's just one way of looking.
Well, with the mixing of, for example, like the Well of Eternity and the Curse of Flesh and all that applying to the life that grows on Azeroth and like changed everything into like something that would be as powerful as it is right now. So that may be part of the thing that makes Azeroth unique, not necessarily the planet itself.
Yeah.
So overall, I mean, just a quick poll: who thinks? I mean, by the end of this, do you think you can trust Wrathion?
Absolutely.
As your player?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
So, we that went on far longer than it was supposed to. That's all right though. We're gonna try and do this real quick. Does anyone have anything they would like to say in regards to patch 5.4 before we move on?
Like audio file wise, or is that a separate?
Yeah, anything lore-wise that's coming that you've seen come out from 5.4.
Sylvanas is finally there.
Yeah.
She has.
Know that.
Apparently, she's just resin all the bodies, and some people like it, some people don't.
She's doing what she does best.
Did we talk about it? See, I get confused sometimes because we talk about lore outside the show. So sometimes I think that we talk about something on the show, but we didn't. We talked about it, outside of it.
Yeah.
But I believe we talked a little bit about Orgrimmar, like standing up to Sylvanas.
That was outside of the show, I believe.
Was it outside of the show?
Because I remember we wanted to introduce that last week, but you said no, we're going to save it for this week. So we haven't talked at all about any audio files or any opinions on them that come out.
Okay, well, basically, the audio file. So there's been some audio files coming out, and the biggest thing, from me personally, that I've found interesting. Sorry, there's an earthquake going on. That I've found interesting is that Orgrimmar, as I stated, kind of stands up to Sylvanas, and is like, if you touch the body of a fallen elf, I will end you. I mean, it's quite badass, really, because especially when you look at in the past, Orgrimmar's kind of into the Horde. The Blood Elves' kind of into the Horde was through the undead, the invitation by the undead to join the Horde, and now of course, with Orgrimmar in charge of the Blood Elves, they are trying to kind of break away, I think, from Sylvanas specifically, to not be kind of continuously grouped up in that particular arrangement, right? Which kind of brings up some interesting, thoughts about what may be going on in the political climate of the Horde, not just because of Garrosh, but, with Garrosh doing everything that he's been doing and whatnot, you kind of get to a point where you have to kind of think maybe we've been overlooking a lot of the stuff that Sylvanas has been doing, and perhaps Orgrimmar, being so close to Sylvanas, has a better idea of the bigger picture of what's happening in Undercity. So, I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
There's a couple things. Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say there's a couple things that you could go off of, which is at this point, Orgrimmar, with all of his people wiped out and Dalaran, so a lot of them jailed. He's been dealing with Jaina. He's probably just tired of taking shit, just not from the Alliance, but from anyone. He's just done with Jaina and Garrosh. I bet the last thing he really wants is for Sylvanas to take advantage of his dead and res them. So at this point, I'm not, as much as I wish, you can say that she's doing something nefarious, which I really wish she was doing something nefarious in Undercity. I'm pretty sure at this point, he's just tired of taking shit. And just doesn't want to deal with anything right now that will lessen his people or make them change. He's just kind of like, leave me alone right now.
Well, it also, this did not just begin, right now. They showed parts of Orgrimmar getting fed up with her in Tides of War, where after Garrosh was like, yo, we're going to attack Theramore, Sylvanas immediately is like, that's a bad idea. And she looks to Orgrimmar, and she's, trying to convince him to agree with her, and he just says nothing, and he actually starts agreeing with Garrosh instead. And it's, presented that he does it more out of spite to Sylvanas, because she's been kind of bullying him. She bullied him to join the Scourge, or not the Scourge, the Forsaken in Northrend. So I think you're right. He's just tired of her bullshit, because she's been kind of a bully.
I think it's more than just Sylvanas. I just think it's ever since, was it the Third War? Whatever, with Arthas and all that. Ever since that, everyone's been just trampling on the Blood Elves all the time. You had the humans, and then you had the destruction of Silvermoon, and then you had Sylvanas is bullying and stuff. It's they've always been they used to be the most powerful faction on Azeroth, and now they're reduced to a puppet state, basically. Yeah. And that I think that would really piss off a leader. So now he's finally in a position where he can not necessarily directly defy, but he can disagree with people and not be looked down upon. So he's taking advantage of that and trying to take back some of the glory for the Blood Elves.
Well, plus he has the Sun Reavers on his side now, where they were more neutral. Now they're all in the on the Blood Elf faction.
Yeah.
But it's always nice to see the political climate changing within the Horde. Keep disrupting it for the Alliance. At this rate, we're not going to need to go to war. You guys will just destroy yourselves.
No, because he's working alongside her still. I think it's just more of he just doesn't want to I guess desecrate his Blood Elves. And the fact that she probably used to lead him back when she wasn't undead, probably, her stomping all over the Blood Elves probably doesn't make that any better, knowing that she once was a part of that. Or how could you even do this to them kind of deal. I don't think he's gonna go to war, or I don't even think he's gonna really raise his hand against her. Yeah, I don't even think he'd raise his hand against her, even if... maybe if she, resurrected, he'd be like, okay, that's it. He might just snap and just start killing everybody. But as for the point, as long as she doesn't do that, I think he would never raise his hand against them at all.
I just think he wants to show that he's still got some balls. That's it.
That's basically been Orgrimmar this whole expansion. I got some balls. Orgrimmar, Mists of Pandaria.
He's definitely risen. I like him at this point, even with the Book of Vol'jin. I still think he has had so much character development in Mystic Pandaria that he's become one of my favorite faction leaders.
It just really makes me sad for the Night Elves, because their faction leader is still a biatch.
Hey, Tyrande is still talked about. She's still in this.
Well, yeah, but she's not getting the development she needs. Like, sure, I can accept someone being a total cranky person, but at least show me why. At least tell me why she's like that. Just don't, like, make me hate her. I don't want to hate anyone.
Well, what I'll say...
Go ahead, sorry.
Because we need to wrap this up really, really quickly here. What I'll say is, we talked a little bit about the Orgrimmar standing up to Sylvanas and sort of the political climate and all that stuff, but what I'll say is that next week, sometime this week, I'll try and get all the audio files and I'll see what I can throw together. And we can kind of dissect it piece by piece a little bit next week. In the meantime, though, we've got... we're going to have to go to break real quick. When we get back from the break, we'll be looking at another episode of Howitzer Retcons the Lore. And then we'll be getting into our top 10. Top 10 this week is going to be pretty awesome, but I'm not going to spoil it quite yet. So stay with us. We'll be back right here on Boy This Lore on youtube.com/thesmokinggamer. Want to stay up to date with all the latest happenings around the Smoking Gamer and its crew? Well, be sure to follow us on our various social media platforms, including Facebook at facebook.com/tsgamer, twitter.com/pride1g, or simply at pride1g. You can also check us out on Anook at anook.com/page/tsgamer. And of course, you can always come and join the fun over at www.knightsoflore.com. Thanks for listening to But Wait, There's Lore. Show your support in the real world by picking up one of our brand new Season 6 But Wait, There's Lore series t-shirts, only at printonblack.co.uk. Order before July 31st for a chance to win this exclusive TSG Jade logo shirt.
Hello and welcome to the Ozcast.
Some people think that the art can use a little bit of polish, but you know what? Mechanics totally make
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Total Biscuit. Welcome to the Content Patch.
Hey, how's it going? You ready?
Yes, get back some more StarCraft 2 or Heart of the Swarm.
You're watching Day 9 TV, where you learn to be a better gamer.
Alright, everybody, welcome back to my guys. Prepare for the end.
Everybody, Markiplier here. We just hit 300,000. I'm not so proud.
Hello there, everybody. Welcome to another sensational day.
So a long time ago, in a world so far away, but not really because we have a portal attaching it, there was a people called the Orcs. And they were not green like they are today, but brown. They were brown people. And there's like this one guy who's like super brown, and he was like the leader of the brown people. And his name was Mankirk. And one day his wife died, and he's like, oh no, she's dead. And he was like super upset about it. And so he went home, and he drank so much that night, and then he had a little bit too much of the orc tribal peace pipe, and he went to sleep. And that's when he saw his waifu. It was this big red guy, but he was wearing his waifu's favorite dress, so he knew it must be his waifu. And then, as we know today, that guy was KJ, also known as Kill Jaden. And this is what KJ said to him. He's like, oh, Mankirk, I am your waifu, and I need you to commit mass genocide for me. And Mankirk's like, I don't know about this, because I don't remember her being as, well, red. And then Kajin's like, oh no, brah, I mean, hubby, it's totally hot up here in the afterlife, and I got super sunburned. So, yeah, I love you so much, and I miss you. And Mankirk was like, oh my god, it is you, waifu! I miss you so much! But what was that about genocide? And KJ was like, oh yeah, there's blue dudes called Draenei around where you live, and we need you to kill I need you to kill all of them. And Mankirk's like, oh yes, anything, but I don't think I know what those are. And KJ was like, oh, you totally do. I mean, two of your people met them earlier, and I mean, they've been here the entire time, so I don't know how you wouldn't know they're there. And you should totally just go kill them for me. Cause thanks, I love you. And Mankirk's like, okay, I love you too, bye. And then after that, he woke up and he's like, guys, I know what we have to do. Okay, my waifu came in my dream, and she says that the Draenei are bad, and we need to kill them. Kill all of them. And the other orcs were like, I don't know about this. And Mankirk's like, no, totally, it's what we need to do. They're bad people. And the orcs were like, okay, let's do it. And that's what happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again here to But Wait, There's Lore. We are on youtube.com/The Smoking Gamer. I am Pride, joined by Necroxus, Snapple Monkey, and Howitzer. Yours there in the production booth. We got a top 10 list to get to, guys.
Top 10?
I think that's,
what's that?
That's what we're doing now. Let me see.
You do?
Yeah. We've got the top 10 list for the top 10 couples in the Warcraft universe. Top 10 couples. I'd like to give a shout out to Grand Old Podcast. I'm more there. He did step in and help in the voting process, as we had a lack of voters due to vacations and whatnot. And of course, Rioris just being bad and not voting. So,
yes,
there's that. And Snapple, of course, refuses to vote because he's
yes.
Jack. Yes.
No, because I do not conform to your systems, and I'm an anarchist in this situation. So
Yeah.
screw the man, which in this case is you.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Alright, so here's what we've got. We've got the top 10 couples in the world of Warcraft. And the man who does not vote will be kicking it off for us here. Snapple Monkey, who is number 10?
Number 10 of the top thingies, couples
Top 10
in
couples.
Azeroth is Deathwing and Sinestra. And for those of you who do not know, Sinestra, or Syntheria, or whatever, used to be the prime consort for the Black Dragonflight, until Deathwing turned all evil and molten lava and burned her while they were screwing around. But yeah, then she turned really evil and crazy because she actually survived that and continued to make black baby dragons. And that's it. We all know what happened to Deathwing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and and Sinestro got defeated by Ronan and some guys in Night of the Dragon. And a Night
the
Elf,
Twilight
Night
Dragon
Elf
she was
chick.
making
Yeah.
blew up in her face.
Rightio. So number 10 is Deathwing and Sinestro. Howitzer. Bring us on down into number 9. It's gonna piss some people off.
I don't know why, but it's Thrall and Agra. Or Agra, however you want to say it. I say Agra.
Thrall and Agra.
His name is Goel.
Okay, well,
apparently I messed up on the top 10 list here in the text box.
Okay, well,
And,
I promise you it's not Thrall and Ronan.
it's gonna show up as Thrall and Ronan. It's Thrall and Agra, though. Promise.
Yeah, Thrall and Agra. Thrall originally meant Agra during actually a novel, The Shattering. A lot of people read it. I thought it was done very well. But basically, he goes to Nagrand to learn more about the elements, to try and learn what's going on with Azeroth, pre-Deathwing erupting, and basically he gets tutored. He went there to get tutored by a great mother. I think it's I want to say it's Gaia, but I'm not sure if that's actually how you say it. But I'll just say Gaia for now. Yeah, and she basically assigns the tutor of Agra to teach Thrall the ways. Of course, throughout the book, you notice that they're a little bit annoyed at each other, but they end up becoming very admirable. They kind of love each other. And then in Cataclysm, at the end of, I believe, 4.2, the Firelands quest raid, they get married, and then after you kill Deathwing, you find out she's pregnant. And now they do have a baby. It is unnamed, though. But I would like it to be named Garrosh. Just to piss everyone
down. I support this.
So that was the thing that was gonna piss people off, calling him Garrosh.
People hate Agra.
No, that
I think it's just
I
people
figured.
hate Agra.
Why do people hate Agra? Agra's cool. It's better than interspecies Jaina
just felt
sleeping
like
together.
If you notice the time of that, they went from meeting each other to getting married to having a baby within, like, I guess, the baby phase. I don't know how many months transpires between 4.2 and Deathwing going down, but it just seems that they really just push that out real fast. They're just like, okay, it's done. So I mean, Asukam, I don't really like. I like them as a couple. I just think they did it way too fast of going from I don't know you to having a baby or come out. So.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I gotta send this over to Rioris real quick here. We're gonna fix that as best as we can. No, we're gonna add it. It's fine. All you gotta do is just put it over. It's fine. I will do it later. Anyways, number 8 on the list. Once I find my list, is Ronan and Farisa. See, that's why it says Thrall and Ronan. Because when I was making it, I was doing it by the first name and then just adding the second one later. And I was like, in my head, I was like Thrall and then Ronan. So I was like Thrall and Ronan. Anyways, number 8 on the list is Ronan and Farisa. One of my favorite characters, of course, is Terralian. Ronan. But we'll get into that later. Basically, Ronan was sent on a mission by Krasis to release Alexstrasza from Grimbatal. She's kind of locked up in there, forced to make some babies. Krasis, of course, being one of her consorts, didn't really like that too much and wanted to get her out. During the mission, he meets up with Farisa Windrunner. At first, they're not very friendly to each other. They don't really like each other all that much. And they kind of, it's almost like a rivalry, really. But this rivalry at some point turns into kind of some puppy love, and then all of a sudden they get married, and then they have twin babies named Giramar and Galadin, who are, of course, part human, part high elf.
So,
figure.
Basically every fantasy love story ever made ever.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Except most of the time they don't have twins. It's usually just a baby.
Well, they have legendary babies because, you know, they're rare and they're powerful and magical and all that jazz.
Well, Orgrimmar and Galladon haven't done shit in a while, so...
But they just have to be there so Ronin can be special. That's
dude, just wait until Hearthstone and they'll be all over that. They have like proper cards and decks and all that crap. You'll see. You'll see.
Decks. All right. Well, number 7 on the list. Howitzer's back again. Who's number 7?
Yes. Number 7 is Moira and Daegran, which actually a lot of that happens for the players in a dungeon. Basically, I think this is actually the best story ever told, and if I was voting on this, which I didn't get to vote on this, it would have been my number 1, because there's nothing better than a case of Stockholm Syndrome. And there's just no better story. Daegran, we believe, I mean, as far as we know, there's actually no official, like, why she was there other than we believe she was kidnapped. She gets basically kidnapped, and then you go there to go kill or rescue her. So you kill off Daegran, and she's like, no, he was my husband. And she's pregnant with his baby, and she loves him, and she hates, like, everyone else. She hates you, she hates her father for hating him, but she says she actually loves him. And now she has a son, or she has a kid. I'm just going to say a kid, because I don't know, I forget what gender it is.
It's a boy.
And, yeah, okay, it is a boy. So she has a son now, her husband's dead, and she's now probably the best person out of all the dwarves, so go figure that she, like, basically her father, like, disowned her since she's like, I love him, Poppy. And that's what happened.
Get out of my house.
Yeah.
And then you got turned to stone, so it doesn't really matter.
The best love story. Should have been number 1.
His name is also Daegran, by the way. It's Daegran.
Yeah,
Daegran? What did I say, Daegran?
Dagran, Dagger.
No, the son's is the same name.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, it's the same name?
And they have like the greatest names too. You know, Moria Bronzebeard, Daegran Thessarian.
Yeah.
Anyways. Number 6 on the list, Necroxus. Who's number 6?
Number 6 is Malorn and Elune. A goat and a moon?
What? A goat?
A stag and a moon? Whatever.
Stag.
Goat, stag. It's not the same thing, but I'm going to pretend it is.
That's no
So
moon.
number 6...
Sorry.
It's the night elf goddess Elune and the ancient Malorn. Malorn the white stag. There's actually a story of this in Tauren lore, or Tauren myth, called the White Stag and the Moon. Describes that the ancient Tauren were hunting Malorn, and he bargained with Elune in exchange for help, and then they became lovers, and that relationship gave rise to Cenarius, another ancient. We don't actually know how much of any of the story is true because none of these characters are explored that much. But, yeah, so a moon and a stag had a stag man who is the patron god of all druids. And that's them.
Can I just really throw out a quick theory there right now that I've been thinking about?
Sure.
That Elune is actually a sentient AI power station cloaking Azeroth exterior from other things left there by the Titans. That is my thing.
That's stupid, and you're never allowed on my show again. How dare you? Anyways, number 5 on the list. By the way, like we're talking about this list, and we didn't really clarify how we came up with the list, but basically it's just kind of their input in the story. So, like, if Elune and Malorn did, in fact, give birth somehow to Cenarius, it's a pretty big impact on the story of Warcraft. You know, Cenarius, kind of a big deal. There's an entire class, you know, based off his teachings, so kind of a big deal. But number 5 on the list, the top 10 couples in the world of Warcraft, is Jaina Proudmoore and Arthas Menethil. And basically, we kind of get a big push in this story from the Jaina Tides of... No, not Jaina Tides of War. It's Arthas Rise of the Lich King. But basically, Jaina and Arthas pretty much started not necessarily a romantic relationship, but a relationship nonetheless. very early on in their young lives. They ran around together, did some shit on some farms, got in a little bit of trouble. But I mean, there was always sort of a little bit of a tension there, a relationships type tension between the two of them, and at a banquet, I forget which banquet it was, but I know it was a pretty big deal. Someone may have to remind me what it was actually for. This banquet or this ball, I think was what it was. But afterwards, the two, in the book, fairly evident what happens. They do, in fact, do the deed. And that kind of brings their relationship into that sort of next level. Unfortunately for them, though, they both kind of after that they kind of they're duty bound, right? Like they each have their own specific areas of the world that they kind of deal with, and that they're not all that close to each other, so they don't get to see each other very much. So they kind of have this on again, off again relationship for quite some time. And eventually it just kind of ended because they couldn't sustain a viable relationship due to the fact that they each had their own bits in the world that they had to deal with, and they couldn't stay together and see each other all that much. But of course, every time they would come into contact with each other, the sparks would once again fly. And it's stated several times that Jaina is still in love with Arthas, even despite the fact that he became the Lich King and is now dead. Jaina has said multiple times, and it's been stated multiple times throughout the lore, that Jaina has been and probably always will be, in one way or another, in love with Arthas Menethil. Which has absolutely nothing to do with our next couple on the list. Snapple Monkey, who is number 4 on the top 10 list of couples within the World of Warcraft?
Number 4 is Garona and Medivh. 2 people destined to meet each other through different planes and all that jazz. So basically, when the Dark Portal opened for the first time, they sent out, the orcs sent out a scouting party, which Garona was part of, but they got horribly massacred by Medivh, except for Garona. And he was like, send word back to Gul'dan of my presence, and we shall break bread or whatever. And basically she became an envoy of some sort, and they got a little thing going on the side, which is probably part of Sarger's plan in the long run, or something. And yeah, we all know what happened to Garona. She killed the king and got outcasted, and Medivh died. But before that happened, they had a son.
Yes,
which is basically the new Messiah. He's Medan.
Yes,
and
he is Medan.
And he will have an important impact on the story, and both of them had an important impact on the story, and that is why they are number 4 on our list.
And Medan, of course, is half human, 1/4 Draenei, and 1/4 orc.
Yep.
So
don't speak of him.
This is a filthy mixed blood thing.
It's a mudblood.
It's a mud. Number 3 on the list of top 10 couples within the Warcraft universe is Turalyon and Illyria. Turalyon was handpicked and charged with the defense of Lordaeron shortly, right there towards the tail end of the Second War. He was introduced to Illyria Windrunner, and it was more or less love at first sight. I don't know what the hell noise that was, but they pretty much immediately hit it off and started a weird sort of relationship. But it was strange. You got to keep in mind that this was the first time a high elf and a human were kind of put in that situation. They eventually get shipped off to the north, and they get shipped off the north there to Quel'Tha Lost. Quel'Tha Lost gets ravaged and most of it destroyed. And this was, of course, Illyria's homeland, and so she was kind of distraught about it, and Turalyon kind of hugged her and just kind of comforted her. And so they kind of started a relationship then, but unfortunately, just like with Jaina and Arthas, the Call of Duty separated them for a good long while. I think a year or so, they really didn't see each other. And so the relationship kind of ended. But of course, they were both chosen to be a part of the Sons of Lothar, which was an expedition into Draenor to kind of cut the head of the snake, if you will, for the Horde. And pretty much as soon as they see each other, they get back into their relationship. And of course, they do end up having a baby, who's now he's no longer a baby. He's a grown man now, but his name is Eretor. Eretor the Redeemer, and you can meet him in not Hellfire Citadel. Is it Hellfire Citadel? No, it's
no.
Honor Hold. Thank you. Yeah. You can meet and talk to Eretor the Redeemer and Honor Hold. And of course, we don't know what happened to Turalien and Illyria. They aren't around anymore. We don't think they're dead, but we don't see them. We haven't heard from them in like 15 years. So, or has it been?
Everyone's convinced they're coming back. The next expansion.
They need to. We need to show the world how badass Turalien is. I really do. Motherfucker went Super Saiyan, man. That's all I'm saying. All right, he went Super Saiyan. What else can I say? Anyways, number 2. Howitzer.
Yeah.
Who's number 2?
Oh, should I say it? You want me to
say it? Okay. Say it.
Okay. Alexstrasza and Crassus are number 2. It's a case of dragon love. They've been basically he is the consort. I guess that's the official word for like love.
Fuck buddy. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck
basically.
buddy.
I mean, I guess she has tons, like not tons, but she has a couple of consorts. But he's like the main one. He's the main guy. What?
Prime consort.
No, she had 3, and he was not the prime consort until the prime consort died.
Well, they were talking about them as a couple, right?
Right. They
so
are
at this
now.
Time, he is, yeah. He is now.
Point. Yes. He was.
He wasn't
he's the last
always.
Consort. He was her last consort.
Yeah. As when I'm sorry I didn't get him from birth and his leveling up of love.
That's all right.
But yeah, I mean he's fine. I don't really. Isn't he dead now?
Yes.
He got blown up.
He's dead now, and I'm pretty sure she was sad about it, and that's what truly shows their love.
She's actually like she's actually pretty pissed off about it. Like she thought that he fucked her over.
She was like, "Fuck the world" after he died, and she found out what really happened.
Yeah.
Well, you realize
that's true love.
Everyone she bangs dies, so it's not really much of a life.
I know.
She's
next
done
characters keep getting blown up.
Well, who knows? Maybe
now.
Jaina's gonna be her new consort because she likes like everyone. I don't know.
But does she have another consort now, or is she done? Or is she done?
No,
now?
I think she's done.
She can't lay eggs anymore. Isn't that what Dawn of the Aspects told us? The first one.
Yeah.
The first part.
Oh, she hit menopause.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
so.
she hit menopause.
Now she's gonna be a
Dragon.
cougar.
Yeah.
Dragon cougar, just banging all the young guys. Yeah. Just
But damn it, man! Dragons don't have sex for pleasure.
Hey, she's a cougar now. She hit menopause. She can do what
Yeah,
she wants.
she has a whole different outlook. She's the first dragon to be on menopause, so I mean, we'll find out what happens.
Wow. All right,
Yeah, the
so
greatest love ever told.
Necroxus. Finish us out,
Yes.
man. Wrap it up. Number 1 on the list.
Number 1 on the list, for some reason that I don't know why, is Tyrande Whisperwind and Malfurion Stormrage. Someone in the chat was really upset if this was what it was going to be. So feel free to be angry, because that is what number 1 is. They are so everyone knows about them. So basically, they're the leaders of the Night Elves. They came together right before the war, or before the War of the Ancients. As it was happening, they joined the rebellion. Yada yada yada. Tyrande becomes the leader of the Sisterhood of Elune, while Malfurion is like super druid extraordinaire. After the war, Malfurion goes take a nap for 10,000 years in the Emerald Dream. During that time, Tyrande leads, but they do meet up again at the Third War. But they do have some bumps in their relationship. Malfurion gets super pissed when he finds out that Tyrande decided to let Illidan go free. But their love prevailed, and they are still together to this day. And you can find them in Darnassus, where you can kill Tyrande and Malfurion stands there and does nothing to help.
The best show of love.
So Necro, did you know that you are the only person on the stream right now?
Awesome. That works for me.
Yeah.
I know.
I must say that image of Malfurion and Tyrande are just makes me giggle.
Why?
Because they look so stupid together. Look at him. I mean, Malfurion is so ugly at this point.
That's
he must
true.
be the ugliest night elf in the history of night elves now.
Well, I mean, let's think of it this way, all right? Like Illidan. Look, she never really did that, but it was stated that at some points in time she was confused about which one she liked more, Illidan or Malfurion. So.
Well,
yeah,
they're both the ugliest night elves.
And then they're neither one of them are very attractive men, so, you know.
Yeah.
I love how Necro looks so awkward and alone now.
Himself, everyone's gone.
I don't care.
Oh, no, it looks great, man. And that Malfurion, it's like, I was gonna say something, but that would be racist, so I'm not gonna say it, but... This guy's got those kind of lips. That's what I'm trying to say.
So just to recap here, number 10, Deathwing and Sinestro. Number 9, Thrall and Agra. Number 8, Ronan and Varisa. Number 7, Moria and Dagra. And number 6, Elune and Malorn. Number 5, Jaina and Arthas. Number 4, Garona and Medivh. Number 3, Turalian and Illyria. Number 2, Alexstrasza and Crassus. And number 1, Malfurion and Tyrande. There you go. That is your top 10 list for the week. Next week, we're going to be doing the top 10 duos. Top 10 duos in WoW. That's people like Duratan and Doomhammer. Ner'zhul and Arthas. Khadgar and Turalian. Things like that. So, you got that to look forward to next week.
I'll get to vote again.
Yeah, I get to stick it to the man again.
Actually, you don't get to vote, Howie. Sorry.
Oh.
No, you can vote. I'll put your name back on the list.
Yeah, man, you can join me and not or not. I don't know.
No, I like to vote. I feel like this one was complete alliance bias.
Well, it was because the only people that voted were Sayamora, me, Necroxus, and Tyrannor.
Yeah.
Does Tyrannor play Alliance?
I don't know.
Alliance bias.
No.
I don't know.
Rior, like we had all 3 of these lists up because the one after, because we've got couples, duos, and then we've got rivals. Rioris voted on all of them except for the couples. He just decided not to vote for that. Yes.
Thanks, Rioris.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So there you go with that. Anyways, what the fuck is that? I keep hearing that fucking noise. I don't know where it's coming from.
Cell phone's running out of battery.
No, my cell phone is fine. I don't know. Anyways, in the meantime, we need to go to break. When we get back from break, we'll be doing our Q&A session for the evening. So, we'll be back right here on Boy This Lord on youtube.com/SmokingGamer.
Thanks for listening to But Wait, There's Lore. Show your support in the real world by picking up one of our brand new Season 6 But Wait, There's Lore series t-shirts, only at printonblack.co.uk. Order before July 31st for a chance to win this exclusive TSG Jade logo shirt. Want to stay up to date with all the latest happenings around the Smoking Gamer and its crew? Well, be sure to follow us on our various social media platforms, including Facebook at facebook.com/TSGamer, twitter.com/Pride1G, or simply at Pride1G. You can also check us out on Anook at anook.com/page/TSGamer. And of course, you can always come and join the fun over at www.knightsoflore.com.
Housecast.
Some people think that the art can use a little bit of polish, but you know what? Mechanics totally make us.
Gentlemen, my name is Total Biscuit. Welcome to Content Patch.
Hey, how's it going? You ready?
Yes, you're back to some more StarCraft 2, Heart of the Swarm.
You're watching Day 9 TV, where you learn to be a better gamer.
Alright, everybody, welcome back. Super my guys, prepare for the end.
Everybody, Markiplier here. We just hit 300,000.
I'm not so gruff. Hello there, everybody. Welcome to another sensational day.
Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen. We are in the last quarter of the show here. We're going to be doing some Q&A. Snapple you had something you wanted to plug?
Yeah, I want to plug my magic segment that I'm doing. I haven't done it yet because I need more questions. Basically, I'm going to do segments on the different types of magic and how they work in the lore, and try to explain some of the mechanics and stuff. So it will really help if people send in questions regarding those type of things. Like, if there's something you're curious about, magic, any type of magic, or specific types of magic, or magic that work differently in the game than they do in the lore, and stuff like that, just send me a question at snapplemonkey@gmail.com, and it'll be featured in the thing.
Is it true that mages conjure fire by more of a chemistry sort of set of skills than they do an actual magic sort of set of skills?
Yes.
Where'd you learn that one from? Go ahead, tell me. What book is that in?
I don't remember.
It's in The Last Guardian, you noob, and you're supposed to be talking about magic.
Well, I've read it so many places, so you wanted specifics. I couldn't give you specifics.
Magnets? How do they work? There you go. See, we already got a question about magic for you. It's about magnets. Anyways, so yeah, we're gonna get into the Q&A part of the show. Let's start off with a YouTube question. This YouTube question is from Barris Snarkin. It says, newly shaved Necroxus? Question mark? The answer is yes.
If you could not see, the answer is yes.
We were just talking about this in the break. Beards are fucking terrible because I'm lazy and I don't take care of them. So I shave that shit.
They hide your squishy bits, which is nice.
I don't care. Look at it.
It has my rooster chin here. From Angry Smurf, if you could have one racial trait from the WoW playable races, which one would you want and why? Hold on, let me Google the racial traits in World of Warcraft.
Well, I would have the Blood Elf one, because wouldn't that mean, therefore, by having the one that siphons magic, that then I would have to have magic? Do I get that? Can I do that?
You would.
It could
you
be like
would
an
also
appendix.
live indefinitely.
Alright, cool. I picked that one.
Nah, it's like an appendix. You have it, but you can't use it.
I want.
Fuck that.
I want the undead one where I can breathe slightly longer underwater.
They took that one out, didn't they?
No, it used to be that you could stay indefinitely underwater, but now they just extended your breathing time.
Which is already ridiculously long for any race.
Yeah, but I'd like that because I like underwater stuff.
There's a lot of underwater quests now.
Plus, I would be the master at free diving.
I think I would pick, as of right now, as I'm glancing over this list, Shadow Meld looks pretty good.
Oh, yes. I was going to pick Shadow Meld.
And, let's see, what's a... Diplomacy. Reputation gains by 10%.
I'm gonna go with Rocket Jump. Activates your rocket belt to jump forward. Other effects which slow the rate of falling cannot be used within 10 seconds after using this ability. I'm gonna go with Rocket Jump.
Yeah, that's nice.
Either Rocket Jump or Regeneration.
I would always use rocket jump to like jump off of giant cliffs and then just use it at the last second to survive.
Yeah, I think those would be the three. It'd be Shadow Meld, Rocket Jump, and Regeneration. Maybe
No more
Wisp,
Rocket Barrage?
maybe Wisp Spirit though, because like you could kind of just float around. It'd be kind of cool.
Here's a good one. Trolls have Devoodoo Shuffle. Reduces the duration of all movement impairing effects by 15%. Trolls be flipping out Mon. Devoodoo Shuffle.
That only means that if someone like kicks you in the shins, you're not going to slow down.
No, because you're doing Devoodoo Shuffle.
Oh, some good stuff.
There you go. All right. Let me get a IRC question going.
Okay, let's do this one. Okay. Tell me if I'm getting it wrong, but what do you think will happen with the Naga, Queen Ashara, and the old god N'Zoth, who is meant to be under the sea? Is he the one who turned the Naga in the first place, and will we see them in a possible South Seas expansion? And that was given to us by Death Warden.
No.
Note to which part?
The South Seas expansion.
Do you think? Okay, I'll change that. Do you think we'll ever see them
Probably.
in the World of Warcraft?
Probably.
That is so vague.
Well, I mean, you have
But that's just like
first
Blizzard,
question too. What do you think will happen with the Naga, Queen Ashara, and the old gods? And I guess another lore question is he the one that turned them into Naga?
Whoa.
No, the magic from the Well of Eternity turned them into Naga.
No, it was the old gods. And
Yeah, they just never said who it was.
Yeah, and War of the Ancients, they keep mentioning the whispers that whispered to Deathwing, but they also, like, there's a tiny segment where Azshara is drowning, and she hears a whisper that says, breathe, and she breathes in, and she survives, and basically that's what turns her into a Naga. So it's heavily implied that it's old gods. But I don't doubt the well exploding had something to do with it too.
I don't know. What happened? I mean, what specifically does the guy want to know? Like, it's such a broad, open-ended question.
That's what the question is.
It's
What's Azshara in the game?
I mean,
like
I
me?
guess it's how do you think they're going to introduce them? Like, are they going to be?
How
are they going to?
How are they going to be introduced? It'll probably be a 5-man dungeon.
Oh, don't say that. Keep pride.
Oh, no.
Keep pride.
I think it would be mostly like faceless ones and Naga and stuff about old gods being released from their prison finally or something in that direction.
If you guys remember correctly,
and obviously they'll have to attack us.
If you remember correctly, myself and Jesse Cox basically, predicted the entirety of Mists of Pandaria. So, if I say it's going to be a 5-man dungeon, that's what it's going to be. 5-man dungeon.
Refuse. She needs her own raid. God damn it.
Yeah, I refuse to accept that Lady Vaj gets a raid and she would not.
Fucking right. Just being Captain Planet rip-off villain. I'm gonna steal all your water.
Yeah.
Stupid raid. Dumb raid.
Lady Vaj gets a raid and Queen Ashara does not. I will be very upset.
So,
and obviously they would have to attack us because we cannot go to them.
Yeah.
Because Blizzard's not gonna have underwater shit anymore.
From the
Yeah, they saw
YouTubes.
that one.
From the YouTubes, Morton Marquette. Well, if the Titans come, will they not just destroy Azeroth because we are so fucked up? See, that's my point. If the Titans show up, they're just gonna nuke the whole damn planet. That's what they do.
probably re-originate it.
Yeah, but Wrathion I think is ignorant in the sense that they won't do that.
But also, because Wrathion doesn't really care about the mortals, so maybe he thinks that because he's a black dragon, he'd be like, yeah, I'm surviving.
I think Old War gave us the wrong impression of the Titans. I think, because people keep forgetting that Old War was a last, like a final,
Or like a final check.
Yeah, like it was a final check that if there was no way of Azeroth being saved after that, then they would have to destroy it or have to re-originate everything. It was like a final resort kind of thing. So even if they return and they saw that we were actually holding back the Legion, if they return, then I don't think they would like just destroy everything. Maybe they just like give us a chance to do stuff on our own or something. But I don't think they would just destroy us. But I do agree that we don't want them meddling in our shit.
Sort of on the same token there, Brian Lucas from the YouTubes asked, what if Dawn of the Aspects was more to coin what Wrathion is in for? Think about it, no one touched Neltharion's Titan artifact. What if eating that heart gave Wrathion a vision of what Neltharion did in the past?
Maybe they should have showed that in the fucking story then, instead of ending it how they did. Holy balls. Sorry. I was not a fan of the end of that.
That giant waste of time and money?
I didn't pay for it, but I'm still pissed.
I don't know. The biggest thing is, I think sometimes people look a little bit too far into... Blizzard is not that cryptic most of the time.
Yeah.
So, I don't know about that. And then Russell Ponder, what do you guys think about the Timeless Island? I don't really think about it yet because it's not.
We don't know anything about
it. No, I mean I know stuff about it. I know that there's like different lore-wise. I don't know what I think because there really isn't all that much to it. But I know that like game mechanics and gameplay-wise, there's a lot of different shit going on over there. But at the same time, it's not really lore specific, and I haven't played the PTR, so I can't really answer that. I think out of all of us, Necro's the only one playing the PTR, right?
Yep. Well, all of the August Celestials are there, as well as the new world boss. That's about all we know, because it's not on the PTR yet. So
there you go. All right, let's wrap this up. Let's get some IRC questions going, Howie. What do you got for us?
Okay. Let's see. This one comes in from Xehanort. I have no idea how to say that, and I never will. Is Lore for Noobs on hold / canceled, or is it the production team too busy at the moment with IRL stuff? Basically, what's up with Lore for Noobs? What's the dealio?
I think September the 4th, right? Is that when? I think it's September the 4th. It comes back. Basically, what we've got, I can tell you this pretty much exactly here. Okay, so July the 3rd, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, September the 4th. Okay. Because we have 9 episodes of Azeroth Lore Tour, and as soon as Azeroth Lore Tour ends, which airs every Wednesday, as soon as that's over and we have all of the Eastern Kingdoms done, then we move on to another season of Lore for Noobs, and then we go and we start the Azeroth Lore Tour for Kalimdor after that. So that's basically where it's at. I don't really know. It's all done. I mean, I have all the episodes. Here's the thing. Lore for Noobs is super popular, right? Gets a lot of views, makes a lot of money. YouTube advertisers pay a lot more money in the last quarter of the year because Christmas and all that stuff. So I like to put Lore for Noobs on at the end of the year. That's why I usually almost always started in November and ran from November to January. So this time we're starting in September, and it'll run from September all the way through December. That makes sense. So there you go. That's what's up with Lore for Noobs.
Okay. Next question from But Wait There's Lore Fan 087. Hey, I have a question for later. In the same way we had to get a key to open Karazhan back in Burning Crusade, what questline setup would you have liked to have seen going into Wrath of the Lich King or Kato, or even now at this point Mists of Pandaria? And he means, when I asked him what he meant by questline, he meant like actually you cannot get into this raid until you do this questline. So were there any raids that you felt should have had that or would have liked to have seen that?
Absolutely not. I hate prerequisites.
Attunements. Fucking
Yeah.
hate attunements.
It would be nice to have a quest line like that if, at least now in Mists of Pandaria, if there wasn't so much grinding already. Like, if they removed all that grinding and left, like, a quest chain to get, like, a key or a tome or something to open something, that would be nice. But as it is right now, there's, at least in my opinion, there's just too much grinding.
Okay, so you guys are happy with the way it is, which is there are quest chains that lead up to why you're at that raid, but it's not required to get in.
I know, like, I meant that it would be better to have like specific quest lines instead of all this grinding. I would prefer that.
Okay, so instead of all the grinding, switch
Yeah.
it to attunements instead of... Okay.
Apparently
let's
I
see.
butchered Morton's last name and he is upset. I apologize, Morton. I'll try again. Morton Marquardt. Maybe that time I got it right.
Is he Swedish or Norwegian or something?
It's Marquart. I guess. That's the way it was typed to me, man. I don't know.
Oh, I see.
I'm not reading it from YouTube. I'm reading it from someone from Tyranor who sent it to me. So yeah. All right, let's get another. All right, this one is from Leono413. Thoughts on the possibility of Wrathion as the war chief of the Horde? Absolutely not. No.
Oh.
That wouldn't make any sense in any
It says, given
version
his
of it.
judgment at the end of 4.4, I think he means maybe 5.4. Right? No, I guess it could be 4.4. I don't know. No, not gonna happen.
It's just because the achievement for finishing the legendary is called Wrathion's Judgment. This is because once again Wrathion's trying to stop the war, and his judgment is we have to kill Garrosh. That's all.
Yeah. All right, another IRC question.
Okay, let's find a good one. Hello guys, I have a question that's been bugging me in the 5.4 sound files. Garrosh talks about someone being weak like he always knew they had been. Could he be talking to Thrall / Goel, and maybe lead to him killing Thrall? And by the way, this was sent from Goel.
Yep.
Probably.
He is most definitely talking to Thrall.
Could be Vol'jin.
Well, he says in that same sound file, he says something like, "My dark shaman have cut off the elements from miles around. What chance do you stand?" So it seems kind of like Thrall is like, "I'm gonna fight you, Garrosh," and he's like, "Bitch, I cut off all the elements. You're weak, like you always have been."
And then he brings out the Doom Hammer.
Yeah.
So as to the second part of that, do you think he'll kill off Thrall?
Nope.
No,
Which may be a reason why Thrall is not taking the War Chief mantle.
Nope. Not while Metzen is still around. Thrall's not going to die.
Because, there was in 5.3, there was a conversation he had with Vol'jin saying, if I don't make it back, they have this whole conversation about him possibly not making it back and how Vol'jin should take care of Agra and his son. Because he's about to go do something extremely dangerous that he knows he might not come back from.
He did the same in Cataclysm and still didn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I don't think it's a for sure no. I would actually like to see it.
I think he's going to
I
get
want him to die.
I think he's going to get his shit kicked out of him, but he's not going to die.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe Sylvanas
Anywho.
will save him.
All right,
here's
let's get
a
a
troll.
next. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
How much preparation do you guys have to do before the show from Frostfox 898?
Oh God.
It depends on the day, I guess.
Yeah, it depends.
This week
depends
a
on the
lot.
week. This week we did a lot of preparation.
I spent 2 minutes today.
Let's see. We usually start. All right. Let's go through a week in Pride shoes. In regards to But Wait, There's Lore. Okay, so generally speaking, we just ended an episode, right? Just ended an episode. We're off air. It's just us sitting here. We usually have a short. Sometimes it's a long. Usually it's a short little meeting. Usually nothing important is really discussed in it outside of like what the next top 10 is going to be, or what we're going to talk about. Just something that after the show, talk about how the show went and all that good stuff, right? Boom. I'm done for the day. I don't do anything else in regards to But Wait, There's Lore that day. I generally go upstairs, watch some TV, and go to sleep, all right? Because usually I've been up since 4 or 5 in the morning preparing for the show today, but we'll get to that in a little while. Usually I don't really do much until the next Monday is really when my work week on But Wait, There's Lore begins, and basically what I do is I go and make sure that the top 10 voting list is created, then I let everyone know that it's time to go vote for the initial voting. Usually takes a day or two to get everyone to get their votes in and stuff like that, but that's pretty much it until Wednesday night, right? Wednesday night, we'll make sure that everyone has voted. We'll make sure the second vote is done, which is the one that counts. And then basically I start kind of making a breakdown of the show, what we're going to talk about, and all that good stuff, and then I just kind of get everyone prepared, tell everyone what they're going to be doing, tell everyone who's going to be doing what on the top 10 list, and all that good stuff. Then we go through and check all of our news sources and things like that, make sure we're covering everything that we can cover, making sure that any new lore that's come out is being covered and talked about, at least in one way or another. Then I go and talk to like Tyrannor and Howitzer, Snapple, anyone that does any sort of video production for the show, like Lorefax or Higher Retcons of Lore or Snapple's, magic show thing. And make sure that they've sent everything over to Rioris. And then Thursday night, I go to sleep and I get a couple hours of sleep, wake up early in the morning on Friday morning, and then I start making the layout for the show, making sure everyone's going to be here. Unfortunately today, we had like an hour Rioris before we had everything set up in terms of the layout, because we had last minute cancellations. Some people that were supposed to be here couldn't make it, so we had to go back and redo all that stuff. It was a pain in the ass, but we got it done. And then we do the show, and it starts all over again. So, all in all, I'd say I probably spend about 15 hours a week working on But Wait, There's Lore. And then I know that Rioris does quite a bit of work as well. He's the producer, so he does quite a bit of work as well.
Yeah, but he's also a shut-in, so...
Yeah.
All for you, America and the world.
I'd say for the most part, the rest of us either work on videos. I work on my video. Necro reads the books or whatever. We all listen to the sound files that come out, or at least try to. Try and keep up on the lore. We usually check everyday MMO champion PTR stuff.
I'm also now writing for Azerothian Lore Tours, so I do that as well.
Yeah, so now you're working on Azeroth.
Necro is writing all of the Azeroth Lore Tours, so there's
so
that.
I'd say
with
this new season, there's a lot more preparation that goes into the entirety of the channel now that we've done the switch.
Yeah, and they're all making money now.
And in a way, it's a lot more fun too. Even though I've only been on one show.
No, you've been on 2.
Been on 1.
You were on, oh, you're talking about this? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the video format. I've been on 1. But it's fine. It's fine. I only had to prep 2 minutes before the show anyway, so.
Yep. But basically, me and Riora spend most of our time on But Wait, There's Lore. I spend a lot of time on Azeroth Lore Tour. Necro spends a lot of time doing a lot of writing. He's a writer. He writes things. And then I record those things. Yeah. So, next question. Yeah, next question.
Next question. Hey guys, great show. I would like to ask this question. Picture this scenario. The Alliance is being defeated and the race of men is upon the brink of eradication. Would Bolvar Dragon do anything? Where do his allegiances truly lie? As the ex-Region King and somewhat sane Lich King, would he do anything to save them?
Probably not, because that would never happen. Next question.
Yeah. In the unlikely hypothetical situation in which it would happen, I would believe no, he would not care for such things. Because he is busy holding the Scourge at bay, and even if he could control them at some point, his only care is for the living and not for the dead. So even if humans died, it's their own fault.
Okay, I'm gonna try and bust out the rest of these real fast. When are the StarCraft 2 finals? If the StarCraft 2 finals are going to be live on Monday, because we haven't changed that yet. When will we see the semifinals? It has been slowed down because Dunn is on vacation and the finals have not been done yet. As for the semifinals, I don't know.
I lost.
Why they should. Oh, I don't think
Wow,
they're out yet.
snap.
They're not out yet.
Oh.
I don't care.
Spoilers.
I lost.
Spoilers.
I'm butthurt, so I don't care.
We're sorry, but yeah, they haven't
very
been out
butthurt
yet.
as well.
I think they're coming out soon. I think we tried to spread them out to try and keep at least some content going before the finals are going to happen, because it's still going to be a while. They are still planned to be live unless I got something wrong.
Well, they'll be live.
It'll be live, and so we're just waiting for Dunn to come back, and it will. Obviously, he's a part of it too, because I guess that's technically spoiled too.
Yeah.
Nope, I'm in Dunn's
So there you
place.
go.
I'm
You know
in
the
the finals.
two people. You know the two. I mean, we might as well just say it's going to be Dunn and Tyrannor in the finals.
Yeah,
since
Dunn
we
and
already
Tyrannor
said-
in the finals.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. Do you guys think it would be possible lore-wise for the Blood Elves to learn to be druids and/or shaman? Now, I would reference how they became paladins and the fact that they can be monks. Both classes have similar teachings. I'm just wondering what you guys thought. Thank you. From Hero Rim.
I think it goes.
Possible.
I think it goes against their nature, though. Maybe some individuals would be able to, but I don't see like a whole faction of the Blood Elves like doing it just like the paladins, especially druids.
Both of those druids and shaman are both very nature oriented, and I really do not see how they are nature oriented at all as a race.
They're more.
Individually, yes, but you are not going to see a large population of Blood Elf shamans or Blood Elf druids, but it's entirely possible that you would see one or two or three out there in the world somewhere. It's not, classes are not racial specific. It's not like, no race cannot be something, if that makes sense.
Unless you're a demon, then you just can't do anything else.
Yeah.
Then you're awesome all the time.
Okay.
So there's that.
How many
We got
more?
time
I know it's time.
One more question.
Okay, let me find a good one. I'll just do this one. Okay, so this is from Dolk 1. Okay, so a bit of theory crafting for you guys. So a couple of weeks ago, I was going through some old raid footage, and I stumbled upon a quote from ICC. It's Jaina when she finds out Arthas had kept her locket up until he died. When she finds out about this, she breaks down and begins to cry. So my question for you guys is, do you think that if Jaina had known that Arthas still was at least part human and still remembered her and had her locket, would they have tried to find another way to save Arthas from the Lich King instead of letting Tyrion kill him? And do you believe that there actually is a way to redeem himself without dying?
Nope.
No.
The moment
that
he
was her
touched-
goal going into it. And then after in the final, whatever the third one of the 5-mans are, after he's like literally choking her with the Force or magic, she's like, oh well, I guess he's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the locket had some magical purposes.
No, it's just I mean, we
just
knew
kept
that.
it? I mean,
we've known that Arthas still had a very, very small amount of humanity within him the entire time.
Name was Matthias Lerner.
Yeah. But the biggest thing is just that small part of him could not outweigh, what was what the manipulation of the Lich King. You know what I mean? That part of him. So
way too far gone at that point.
Didn't help that he loses soul as well.
Right. So
sure.
biggest thing is that, you know, like, it's just, no, there wasn't really another way. It ended the only viable option they had was to kill Arthas.
The locket was just to give her some closure, I guess.
Yep. All right then, so that's gonna be our show for the evening, guys. Again, Snapple was supposed to be on next week, but
wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he got on this week instead. We'll see. Hopefully, we can reschedule the person who's supposed to be here today for next week. I know that person needs to be on an episode that Dunn is not on for the sake of everyone's sanity. So that gives us next week, or a week where we tell Dunn he can have another day off. Anyways, guys. We'll be back next week. Top 10 duos is going to be our top 10 list next week. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves about who you think is going to be on that list and what place. We'll also dive a little bit deeper into the patch 5.4 audio files. And if something crops up along the way, we'll add that to the list as well. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun. Good evening, good night, or good morning, wherever the hell you are. And we'll see you next week.
Hello and welcome to the Ozcast.
Some people think that the art needs a little bit of polish, but you know what? Mechanics totally make us.
Gentlemen, my name is Total Biscuit. Welcome to the Content Patch.
Hey, how's it going? You ready?
This is ATS here back to some more StarCraft 2 or Heart of the Swarm.
You're watching J9 TV, where you learn to be a better gamer.
Alright, everybody, welcome back. Super my guys, be prepared for the end.
Everybody, Markiplier here. We just hit 300,000.
I'm not so proud. Hello there, everybody. Welcome to another segment.
Thanks for listening to But Wait, There's Lore. Show your support in the real world by picking up one of our brand new Season 6 But Wait, There's Lore series t-shirts, only at printonblack.co.uk. Order before July 31st for a chance to win this exclusive TSG Jade logo shirt. Want to stay up to date with all the latest happenings around the Smoking Gamer and its crew? Well, be sure to follow us on our various social media platforms, including Facebook at facebook.com/TSGamer, twitter.com/Pride1G, or simply at Pride1G. You can also check us out on a Nook at anook.com/page/TSGamer. And of course, you can always come and join the fun over at www.knightsoflore.com.